Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Grace Ruth. I am so glad to have you back and stick around because today I'm going to talk about uh previously I talked about the manifestation and law of attraction, and today I'm going to dive in a little bit deeper and talk about the limitations that stop us from manifesting our heart desires, the things that we desire to have. And I've been a victim. I was a victim until I empowered myself and took my power back, and then I became control of everything. So I'm no longer a victim. I know what I want. I've fixed so many areas of my life, and currently I can manifest anything because I've fixed my subconscious mind. So attracting is so and manifesting is so easy for me right now. So basically, I'm gonna tell you that everything that is written in your subconscious mind, which is the unconscious mind, it's not the reasoning mind that you're watching this with, it's the subconscious mind. The habitual mind, the ones that the brain that records everything, the habits that become part of your life, the things that you do without knowing, and then you continuously wonder, why did this happen to me, why did I do this, I'm not like this, why did I do this? Or maybe you hang out with someone who has bad habits, and you end up, if you hang out around them long enough, you end up acting like them or behaving like them. It's because subconsciously they have their habits have become you. That's why you should be very conscious about the people that we keep around in our lives, because they determine how our lives are going to be, or what the things are we going to manifest, or the habits and changes in our lives. So if you stick around healthy people who are talking about healing, uh progress, growth, financially, life goals, that is what you're going to. And not just talking about those things, but actually working on getting themselves there, because so many people are doers and watchers, but they never act. So the aim to getting what you want is working. Even conscious manifestation itself, it's something that you have to work. You have to work to be that person. You have to work to remove those unwanted habits from your subconscious mind, and rewiring you that part of your brain with the positive things that you want, good habits that you want, good habits that you know are going to work positively for you. Because personally, I am so lazy. I can't I can't follow the rule of law of assumption, which is persist in saying, persist in doing every day, every day. No, I just hypnotize myself when I'm sleeping, and that habit that I want to change, it will be part of me within 3 days. Sometimes, if it's something that is bothering me, and probably maybe something difficult for me to, okay, a very good example, I was going through this tough time in my life not so long ago, a few months ago, and I was a very, very angry human being. I was angry at that time because things were not working out for me, and I did not know what was happening to me. So I had to evaluate myself and think, I've done everything right, but there's a block. What is happening? So I had to deep down ask my higher self, ask God, my angels, ask my ancestors, because they're part of me. I carry their DNA in me. So I had to ask them, can you help me out figuring out what is wrong with me? But I remember during that time, at the back of my mind, which is my subconscious mind, a certain dream that I had back in 2015, it was ringing in my mind. And everything that happened in that dream, it was so fresh in my memory. And I was wondering, what does that dream have to do with my current shitty situation? Little did I know that my subconscious was trying to help me to change and to remember that dream, for me to start uh, joining dots from that specific dream, because that was it. It came at the time that I was not ready. I didn't know anything. I was not spiritually awake, and I was still emotionally and nervous and regulated. I was still effed up. So when it came to me, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to handle it. I didn't know that just praying and, just bowing down and praying, that it's not enough, that you have to go and do the repeating and, in tune with your soul, and talk and need some, ask for some uh deep assistance from your ancestors, your higher self, and understand that yes, this thing, whatever I'm going through, it's not coming from me. It's generational. It comes down from generation to generation. So it's not my fault, but it's a thing that has to end with me. So I did not know how deep it runs in the roots of my back, from my ancestors. So it wasn't something that was really easy. It's something that I had to ask some help from, when our loved ones are passed, they're fully aware in their energy. They don't have their five senses to limit them. They're like angels. That's why we sometimes see them in our dreams. Sometimes they help us, sometimes they guide us. They're very, very important. And that's what, actually, the absurd thing that people know is that, oh, when you see your dead loved ones in your dreams, they're haunting you, they're evil, they're bad. No, not all the time. Sometimes if they're telling you to do something, it is because something that you are supposed to do, they were supposed to do, and they did not get to that point, or they were not aware enough to bring it to life. They have you to continue with the bloodline, to change whatever they were not able to change. So that was my grandma using me to change my generation and to understand why things happen the way they happen in my family. And personally, it was really tough because when that dream came to me back in 2015, I did not know what to do. I remember I prayed. Yes, I prayed. It's good to connect with your higher self, with God, but that doesn't solve everything unless you constantly repeat that prayer for, let's say, 66 days, like the same words, the same prayer for 66 days. That way you have changed your brain, you have rewired your brain, and you have at least embodied the feeling. So it is you, you've changed you. But for me, I think I prayed general thing, with resentments, with anger. Why did you have to do this? Now see we where we are. So that was not a very good prayer, because it was coming from a point of anger and desperation. So it was not in good faith. It was just, ego shattered and blame game. It wasn't good at all. So that's why it had to come back to me now that I'm aware of everything that is happening to me. Now that I am aware and awakened to my higher self, knowing that, yes, this is the first step I have to do. I have to in tune myself to understand where this is coming from. And I remember I was asking my higher self, where did this problem came from? Yes, from my grandma. And then when I asked about the grandma, and my grandma is late, by the way, so there were no answers beyond there. I could feel the block every time. I was thinking, I was trying to do it in a psychic way, like lucid dreaming and trying to connect with my ancestors, and it was hitting a point that there was a blockage. So I did not know what is happening, so I could not understand everything clearly until I got some help. My There was a gathering at home, so I had to talk with my mom and my auntie, which is her sister, youngest sister, and I asked them about that, whether my grandma was like this and like this, and they told me apparently, like, when you're ready for the answer will come to you. My mom and my auntie have never thought about why their relationship with their relatives is like that, why her mom was hated, blah 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 blah. So my mom, out of nowhere, just realized, you know what? I think there's an issue from my mother's great grandmother. What? Like how many generations down the line? So many of them. Like she didn't even know her mother's grandmother, but the issue came from her, and it was a friction between family, and it was some sort of a curse because it was brought down, and it was not cut at any point. No one was aware of it, so we were just carrying traumas and generational traumas down the line, and having messed up life, living unfulfilled lives. Yet we didn't understand that this thing comes from, it has roots. So I had to ask my mom, and she explained to me, and I was like, yeah, my intuition just, but that it is it, that is the answer I was looking for. So during my time alone, that's when I started asking questions. So what has been the repercussions of that ancestor? What did she do? How do we fix this? And I remember a late cousin of mine, he passed last year on November. He came into my dream and told me, you know what, now look at you and your sisters and your mother and your grandmother, and see the negative pattern going back. And the only person I know from that bloodline is my grandmother. And actually, she died when I was very young. I was 7 years old. No, I think, yeah, I was 7 years old. So I was still a kid. So I had to ask and look at the patterns. And that's when I knew, like, I just got the divine knowledge, the wisdom that this has been the issue. Now fix this. There's no one else that you can fix in this uh family, only you, because this is a generational thing. It has deeper crazy roots, so you can only fix you, and the rest you can at least advise them, tell them, "Oh, this is happening." I gave them how ideas of how to say their mantra, to disconnect with their parents, and because that's basically what I did. I just had a mantra every day. I remember I could work out for 20 minutes, maybe a few times a week, and that was the thing that I was repeating. And to get it deep down into my subconscious mind, okay, I first of all told my parents, you know what, mom, I love you, but at this point I'll have to disconnect with you energetically, so that I can be able to heal myself. So I was saying this mantra all the time when I was working out, before I could sleep. Every time it was ringing into my mind, and that's how you train your subconscious mind. That's how you change your beliefs. And since this is not a belief that came from me, it came from deep down the bloodline. It did not come easily. But I remember I was saying the mantras during the day. I was thinking about it. I was trying to, release the anger, because I was so angry that things are effed up, and it's not my fault. It's my grandmother's fault. And yet again, I realized it's not even her fault again. So I just had to make peace with my ancestors. I had to make peace with myself. I had to release the anger. I was bawling my eyes out. I was crying day in, day out. And I was so grateful at the same time. So I was just crying, removing all the anger, the resentment, the pain, the frustrations, because knowing that I've worked, me probably we would be so far, like so far progressed in our lives, but this specific thing, uh, placed our lives in a stagnant level. So it was so I was so resented. I had a lot of pain deep down. So my point, back to my point, is some things are easier to change, some habits are very easier to change, knowing that I know where this habit came from, and I don't want it anymore. I want to change it into a better habit. So you just have to focus on the good habit, and now repeat that habit, start acting like that good habit until it becomes you. And when the subconscious mind is changed, you're gonna feel it, because your body is going to change. You're just going to feel the energy is no longer the same. You're going to actually see people tell you that, oh, you've changed, or you look like this, or oh, you no longer do this. And they're just reflecting your consciousness to you. They're just them reflecting you, like saying, oh, she's different. I remember when I was able to clear that generational trauma, the curse, everything changed. Everything that was stuck, it just started flowing. Everything I was getting. And when when there's nothing blocking your way, universe can literally conspire to help you. So I was getting confirmations from people. I was seeing things changing in my life. I was feeling different. I was feeling like, yeah, this is what I want. This is my dream life coming to reality. And I was so grateful. And I had to talk to my family members, to my sisters, to my mom, to my auntie, because it is in my maternal side where the problem was. So I had to tell them, you know what, if you want to change life, if you feel stuck at some point, remember this thing is still active, and I cannot help you. You can only help yourself. I can only guide you in how to detach from that curse, to erase that curse in your life. But first of all, you have to feel it, because it's part of you. It's the DNA in you. It's the bloodline. So you have the same blood in you. So you have to feel it. Feel the anger, feel the shame, feel the frustration, and then release it. Don't stay there. Don't stay in your negative emotions. Just feel them. Do whatever you have to do. Act, like cry it out, or maybe write it down, or just punch something if you have to, and then let it go. And then that is the moment when actually you're aware of a habit or something, you're already 51% healed. So the only 49% is just working now. Like, it's something that you have to work. So you just can't say, oh, I think we have these scars or this trauma in my bloodline, and that is it. That is just who we are. No, you can change to whoever you want. You are the creator of your life. You can change. Remember, you have the fragment of God in you, so you can change. God can help you change into the person that you want to be. You don't have to be miserable for the rest of your life, blaming other people, blaming your ancestors, blaming your family, your parents, your guidance, the what they call your parents, and blaming everybody. You don't have to do that. You just have to realize that this is what is happening in my life. This is what is general thing in my family, and I can change this. And that is where you start, by understanding, by saying the mantra, by feeling the emotions, by letting them go, by now saying the kind of person that you want to be. And you're going to be exactly that. It just takes repetitive, the same way, if it's not rooted, the same way that you created a habit, and within 21 days it's already a habit, but it's not part of you, so it's easier to let it go. But if it's a deep rooted habit, for example, if it was put to you when you're a baby, then that one you have to repeat the mantra for 66 days. Just write them down. Just do whatever you have to do. Repeat the same thing until it becomes part of you. It becomes the new you. And that is how you change and relight your story in your subconscious mind, and then the manifestation will be everything that you want to have, because there's no block. Everything is just flowing. If I want this, if I want a cup of coffee, you get it. Even if you don't have any money, and maybe you want to have, for example, a certain type of fruit, you just out of nowhere, maybe a friend of yours will just call you out of the blue and tell you know what, let's hang out. And you pass by the market and buy your favorite, they buy you your favorite fruit. That is how you manifest. God uses other people to bring your manifestation into life. So you just have to fix your subconscious mind so that you can attract everything that you want. without any blocks. Understand that if you feel something is off, if you think about something and then you feel straining in your heart or any other part of your body, because that's where the emotion or energy is stored, you just realize, something is not okay. If you feel the butterflies or the sharp cutting through your tummy, then no, that is something deep down inside of me and I need to change it. If it doesn't feel right, just say, there must be an issue there and I have to change it. And I've already told you how to change it. So you just have to realize it. You just be honest with yourself. It's not easy being honest with yourself, because sometimes you just have to acknowledge yourself and you're like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm like this. Sometimes you feel the shame, the guilt, maybe some because maybe it was your fault. Sometimes you feel all sort of emotions. Sometimes you're angry because it wasn't your fault. So just feel the feelings and then change. Now start the repetitive work of saying the mantra, or if you can't say a mantra, then set some, you can do the hypnosis, self hypnosis. You can hypnotize yourself during your sleep. That's when your subconscious is open and it's very open to receive any information, especially when you're drowning to sleep or when you're waking up in the morning. So that's the easiest way to manifest. If you fix your subconscious mind, everything else will just come flowing easily. So that is easy manifestation, by understanding what is rooted in your subconscious mind, the negative and the positive. Change what you have to change and become what you want to create. Maybe new things that you know they're not part of you, but you want them. And don't don't do the mistake of doing something out of your ego, maybe trying to destroy someone. That is going to bring you a bad karma. Yes, karma is real, and whatever you wish for other people is what you're wishing for yourself. That is a very very basic term used, that you're pointing on someone, then you're pointing yourself with the four fingers. So whatever you wish for someone is whatever you get back in your reality. So be careful and be mindful. And I wish you happy manifestation. And I'll see you on my next video. Please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye. I love